Everybody, Dave here, Hidden Freedom Investing. In today's video, we're going to go over options income for the month of August. August is over, it's in the books. Today is September 1st. So we're going to go over my cash secured puts, and we're going to go over my covered call income for the month of August. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get dug in here. We're gonna go down here to CC because that stands for covered call. And this is my tracker for covered calls. Obviously, if you saw the video from last month, some of these were already in here, and this is just a continuation of the spreadsheet. So we're not gonna go over all the ones from a couple of months ago. We will talk about this one in the red here. We will talk about the leg here as well. But this is really the update for the month of August. If you want to look at any of the other update videos, I did one other covered call and cash secured put video, but I also have a lot of other optioned income videos, and you can look at that playlist up here if you want to take a look at that playlist. So let's go ahead and get started here. Verizon, let's just start with the Verizon, even though that's not for August, although it did end in August. The reason that's red there is because I have a conditional, and it's when it gets up within 2% of the strike price, it will go ahead and turn red on me just to let me know that it's getting close to being in the money. And that one I held for 29 days DTE, and it did expire out of the money, so we're good there. But I just wanted to let you know that that's the reason why it's red. So and then leg here, that's probably the longest one I've opened up. That's a 57 DTE. All right, days to expiration. It's got 17 days left on it, and it's within 5.7% of being in the money. Now when I open that up, stock price when covered called open is $35.07. So it's come up quite a bit since then, and current price is $42.43. And we also have a strike price of 45. So 5.7% left. Now, if you look at the chart for leg, it's come up quite a bit. I don't know if it's going to end up being in the money. It's got 2.5 weeks left on it. Kind of monitor it and see where that one goes. We do have a bunch of other ones here that opened in August, right here. And then a lot of these ones down here, I opened in August, but they expire in September, so we're not going to close those ones. And we got some Microsofts in there, which is relatively new. Like I said, I did an update video where I just bought the 100 shares of Microsoft just to get myself into the covered calls, and there's the 100 shares there. So far, it's been a pretty good money maker. So what do we make here? Let's see, 13 cents, 10 cents, or 11 cents. And then we got another one there for 80 cents, and that one was amazing. So we'll kind of talk about that one here in a second, even though that's really for the next month. But Coca-Cola, we got one in Pfizer, we got one Realty Income, which is in the tax deferred account. That's why it says tax deferred over here. And Cisco has dropped too far to do any new ones on Cisco right now. These ones have 17 days left. VYM is somewhat new, which you're going to see in the update video come this weekend. I'll kind of talk about that and the strategy going forward. Right now we do have one open on Coca-Cola as well, Microsoft and Apple. And Apple obviously just split. So luckily the split gave me about 96 shares on Monday. And then I basically just added 4 more shares to get to the 100, and immediately turned around and sold a covered call on it. Now I'm up 120% on that. So I was looking at a chart. I'm like, all right, what's a good number that I think is safe, right? And I chose the 260 strike. Now granted, Apple has been on fire ever since the darn split. So it had a humongous update today. Now if we go look here, and let's see, it had a 3.98% update today, which is $5. So we're getting close, and let's basically let me go back to the covered calls here, and 5% for being in the money. So Microsoft is within 12.5% of being in the money, but it's only got 3 days left on it, so I'm not really worried about that. You know, it's got what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday left. By the time you see this video, it will be Wednesday already, because I'm recording this on a Tuesday. So I will monitor that one. I really think that we're going to be safe there at a 260 strike price, and even if it takes my stock at 260, you know, I mean, that's going to be a humongous profit for me. We're already sitting at a $7,600 profit, so add another 12% on top of that, and that's, you know, how much I'm going to be taking it. If you want to join the theta gang, go ahead and like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. Before I move on to the covered calls here, you know, the income here from, you know, this starts at day 1, so that was all the way back to 2 months ago. And that's $589 I've collected so far, but we'll tally up the actual results for August itself. I just kind of threw an average in here just to get an average of how long I typically hold these covered calls for, and that's about 17.7 days. Now obviously this leg up here kind of threw off the average a little bit, but annualized rate of return is about 7% on average. That's pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and move on real quick here to the cash secured puts, which is in a different account. This is my Schwab account. That's just all covered calls in my dividend portfolio, which, you know, it's all these individual stocks that are in here. But the covered calls is a different strategy than what I do in my cash secured put account here, which I talked about in the last video. I was mostly hanging around the Teslas there with really safe strikes, you know, the 950s, the 1000s, 895s, the 900s. And then it kind of, when it ran up after the stock split news, it got really tough to make any money on the premiums. Obviously, you know, you can see that the premium has dropped from earlier when I first started doing the Teslas. You know, that's because the stock just ran up so much. I was afraid to go to the higher strike price because I felt like it ran up and it could just pull back. So I was still safe on the strikes, but I even moved it up to, you know, the 1350 and the 1250s to get a little bit of money out of it. But still, even moving it up to the 1350s, I only got 57 cents and 70 cents out of it, which is quite a bit of a, you know, a discount compared to what I was getting up here. But, you know, I mean, it's still free money the way I look at it. So it was getting kind of hard, and I didn't want to mess around with the split date and all that. So for that 1 week there, which I believe was last week, I just opened 5 contracts on Microsoft because that one didn't split. Got 18 cents times 5 out of it, made 42 bucks on it, closed it early, and bought it back at 8 cents. This is exit price here. Most of them are not zero. And the reason why is because if I'm up about 50%, I usually will close it early. That's just a rule that I follow. Doesn't, you know, that's just, there's no standard rule out there, but that's a rule I follow. If I'm a cash secured put, I'm up about 50% on it, I will close it early. So most of these you can tell that I did close early. The only one I didn't close early was that Tesla there, and that probably just ran up and it was so far away from being in the money that I just let it close. It was only a 7-day hold anyway. Most of these you can tell I closed, you know, and actually I didn't put average here, but you know, I'm not holding these very long, and I'm getting, you know, 50% plus out of them. I mean, 98% there because obviously I let that one expire and didn't have to buy it back. So I did close that one on Microsoft, only held it for 3 days. No, that's not correct. I need to probably fix that freaking that formula, but it was a $42 gain, and then I turned around and sold to open 2 more Teslas, and this is after the split. And this was actually today, which was September 1st, and you know, it was supposed to be a 3-day hold, but I literally closed this 5 hours after opening it. For some reason, Tesla today had a down day. It was down like 3% today, but I was able to sell to open, you know, the 325 and the 350s and make 55 cents and $1.12. Obviously that's, you know, 112 and 55 bucks. And I was able to close those 5 hours after opening them for a pretty substantial gain, 70%, 77% gain and 72% gain for an $87 gain and a $40 gain. So that was very odd that for some reason there was just a lot of premium in Tesla today. And even though the stock was going technically against me, right? I mean, it was coming down. For some reason, they just bled off and they took the premium out, which means I could have bought them back cheaper, and that's what I did, and we closed them out. So I'm gonna take that profit. We're up, more than 50%, I'm taking the profit. I do not have one open right now in that account, so I'm gonna look at opening a new one tomorrow. I'm not really sure what stock I'll look at. Maybe it'll be Tesla, maybe not. It depends whether it's down or it's up. So let's look at the total income here, and by looking at the accounts. So this is the Schwab account, and that is the taxable account. So there's all of the profits that I took for the month of August. And then we had that one there in the tax deferred side, and that was on the realty income. So, and then we had also the cash secured puts, which is in my interactive brokers account. And this, like I said, this just coincides. This just goes along, supplements my cash secured put and covered call spreadsheet from Google, but obviously all this stuff lines up. And then realized P&L was $322, which is a substantial decrease from last month. But like I said, Tesla got kind of hard to sell cash secured puts on for some reason the last few weeks or so, and so I didn't make quite as much money on it. But still, you still tally all of these accounts at $322. The other two accounts with Schwab, it still comes out to $471 that I made for the month of August in just cash secured puts and covered calls, which I really think is just free money laying out there. So for $471 for this for these three accounts, that's pretty good. I'm looking to make 500 plus for the month of September. Maybe we'll even shoot for 700 for the month of September. Depends on how aggressive I am. I'm still like to be around that anywhere from 5 to 10% of probability of being in the money, and that doesn't matter whether it's on covered calls or cash secured puts. That's where I try to be, but I'm always looking at my charts and all that to find out where the resistance is, try to sell to open the cash secured puts on down days and try to sell covered calls on the up days. I did talk about all this stuff and how I select the strike prices in a different video. If you want to look at that video, go ahead and take a look at that video up here. I probably will do future videos on that as well, just because people still ask questions, and maybe just going over it a couple times will help people understand it better. So go ahead and take a look at the video on Saturday. That will be my dividend portfolio update video, and you're not going to want to miss this one. So there's some news I'm going to put in there and all that. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and leave a comment below. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.